What's up, YouTube? This is going to be a guide on how to use Rabscar in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing some competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, let me know about it in the comment section. And if there's a moveset maybe that you didn't see in this video that works well for you, or a moveset that does work well for you, let me know about it in the comment section too. And if you enjoy these videos, if they're helping you, if you're liking them, click that like button, people, and let's get into it. So Rabscar, let's have a look at its stats. We've got a nice special attack and special defensive stat, reasonable health stat, and everything else is kind of garbage, especially at speed. So with this such low speed stat of 45, it's going to be great for running it in Trick Room. So we're going to be building a Trick Room set here. This is going to be probably the more standard set you're going to see, whether you're playing singles or doubles. So first things first, we've got max health EVs, and we've got max special attack with quiet nature, and 0 IVs and speed there. This obviously makes it the slowest it can possibly be and hit as hard as possible. Now the moveset we're going to give it, obviously we're doing a Trick Room, so it can set its own Trick Room up, which is really, really nice. We've got Bug Buzz with 90 base power, 100% accuracy, and we've also can have the Throat Spray on there too. This is another good item you could run with Bug Buzz. There is an option to run Leopard Berry too if you want another Revival Blessing, so that option is up to you. You can even go Life Orb too if you want some extra damage, but I think both items work well, Leopard Berry or the Throat Spray. The next move we've got here is Psychic, so we've got the Bug Buzz, and Psychic, so that's great for stab options. There are other options that are a little bit less competitive, like Psyshot, which can make it into sort of a mixed sweeper, I guess you could say. You do lose out in a little bit of power, but you don't get walled by special defensive walls. Another troll one you could do here is Extra Sentry. Extra Sentry's got 10 less base power than Psychic, and we've got 10% chance of flinch, which actually works very nicely when you are going first. But once again, they're a little bit more of a gimmick sort of move on there. I actually did this myself at the same time, and all of them work fairly well there. Now, the Terror type I've got in this one is Bug, because I want that Bug Buzz hitting as hard as possible. It's also a sound-based move too, so it can really, really hit hard. You will be obviously walled here by Steel-type Pokemon, so before you use Rabscar, make sure you do use, get a Pokemon to get rid of them. Now, the last move I've given it is Revival Blessing, and that's just a handy move. If you don't care about Revival Blessing, and I don't know, you're probably using it because of Revival Blessing, but if you don't really care about it, you can do this too. You can go Terra Blast, and you can make it a Terra Fire. This way, it can actually go for some really, really good damage on any of those incoming threats. And, you've got any sort of way to get around Steel types, whereas you'd be walled before, so that's nice. Any Fire type Pokemon coming, you can go into Terra Fire, and then you can go for a Psychic, so that does work too if you want to take advantage of that. Or you could just go Terra Fire on there, and you could give it Revival Blessing too, so you could obviously leave an incoming Fire move, so there is that option there. Abilities we got on these, we've got two abilities. We've got Synchronize and Telepathy. Telepathy is good for doubles, so this is more based around singles. If you're using it in doubles, I'd use Telepathy instead, and you could match it with another Pokemon like Explosion or Surf or something like that. Any of those sort of moves, Boom Burst, etc. Now, we're going to have a look here at a Trick Room set here. This is for doubles, and this is like a Trick Room setup Pokemon. So I've built this one a bit differently than the singles one. I mean, if you want to use this in singles, I'd say it'll work too, but you'd have to adjust the telepathy for the other ability. So we've got Trick Room, obviously. Now, it actually gets Memento, which is a very, very good move. So you got the options of setting the Trick Room up first. Oh, there's a very scary Pokemon there. I'm going to be going first, so we'll go for Memento. If you feel like you can take a couple more hits, then you could go for Revival Blessing, bring back a Pokemon, then you could get it off the field. So there is that nice option, and you've also got Bug Buzz there just for a little bit of coverage there, so you don't get completely, taunt baited. The bulky EVs and the Fetisite allow you to live a lot of those physical moves, which is really, really nice, and it's got a nice base special defense, so you're still going to be able to eat a special move like reasonably well. We've got Bold Nature there, and we're dropping attack because we don't need attack at all. So yeah, that's a nice doubles Trick Room set. As for doubles, you can pair it with a couple of Pokemon here. You can pair it with stuff like, I found Palafin to be pretty good. I found Arcanine to be good as well. With Flash Fire, Tyranitar and Iron Bundle were good too. Skeledirge was another one. And you could put Pawmot on the team too if you want like a double Revival Blessing combination too. So that's always fun to do, like reviving a Revival Blessing Pokemon. So yeah, so lots of little options you can use there. Next option I want to have a look at here, it does have the Mood Stored Power and it does have the capacity to make this into a bulky sweeper too. So this is probably better under the Trick Room. Why I say that is a lot of these bulky sets can work by themselves, but it is quite handy for you to get those initial boosts up before you start taking like attacking moves. So you want these Calm Minds up as quick as possible. That's going to be boosting the base power of the stored power there. So after one Calm Mind, you've got 60 base power, etc. I've given that Bug Buzz as well, so stored power and Bug Buzz. Leftovers as the item there for some sustain, and we've got Recover as well. So a beautiful move there, Recovery, and you can go ahead and set those Calm Minds up and stored power. The EV spread I've given it is very, very defensive. This is going to allow it to leave any physical type moves, which are going to be a problem once you got a lot of Calm Minds up. The opponent will tend to go for a physical move instead, and when they say Rabscar, they know that its defense is not quite as good as its special defense. So that's why I've gone about doing that. Another item you could give this is like Keyberry, but Keyberry's not in the game yet. But if it does come to the game, you could, you could definitely give it that too. Now, the Terra type I've given it is Psychic because obviously we want to be hitting hard as we can with stored power. And after a while, even resisted stored powers are going to be doing a lot, especially if you've got a high amount of base power there on the stored power. So steel types will fall to this eventually there when you've got enough boost up there. So pretty cool set. Just get rid of any like toxic Pokemon, any really, really super hard physical attackers, and you pretty much should be able to sweep the opponent and finish them off late game with this bulky special attacking sweeper. It doesn't have to run under Trick Room either. It's just helpful to get your like maybe a first couple of Calm Minds up there under your belt, and then you're good to go from there. So a nice Pokemon there you can use. Now the next set I thought would be a pretty cool for Rabscar would be a pure setup. So it gets some great moves. So it gets Revival Blessing, Memento, Light Screen, and Reflect. What a great opportunity to send this out. Maybe not at the start of the battle. If you really want to truly make the most of this set, I'd send it out like mid-game after you've maybe lost a couple of Pokemon, right? So send it out. Start setting up the Reflect and Light Screen. It's got tremendous bulk with this defensive set. And I've given it Calm Nature, so we've got pretty good all-round bulk there. So max health, max defense, and 4 in special defense and Calm Nature. And I've given this Reflect and Light Screen. So after that, it's not going to be able to faint very, very easily at all. Mostly, you'll probably even get the chance to use Revival Blessing and then Memento on top of that too. So you could potentially set up both screens, revive a teammate, and if you're lucky, you can get the Memento off and drop the special attack and attack of the Pokemon on the field. So what a great Pokemon there to set the screens up and get your physical or special attackers sweeping Pokemon back in the game with a Reflect and Light Screen up there to boot too. So not a bad combination. I actually said this is low-key good. This is really, really good. It's got enough bulk to do it. Obviously, it would probably shut down there by taunting Pokemon. That's about the only thing you have to watch out for. I mean, you could change this up to Mental Herb, but, Light Screen and Reflect, the longevity are not going to be there, compared to like 5 turns to 8. So that is an option you can do. So this is a troll set. This is a Pip Night special. So on the surface, it may look like a standard set, but it's actually pretty clever. So what I'm going to be doing here is using Imprison. So whenever you come across another Pokemon, like exactly a Rabscar or a Pawmot, especially a Rabscar, you can imprison them. So what does that mean? So when you use Imprison right, no foe can use any move known by the user. So every Rabscar is probably going to run Revival Blessing, Bug Buzz, or Psychic, or all three of them. So if you come across them and you use Imprison, they will not be able to use any of these 3 moves. And usually when someone uses Rabscar, they're using Revival Blessing. So it's a great shutdown troll Pokemon, and Imprison would really take someone by surprise. Obviously, this is a very situational sort of occurrence, but if you have got it on your team and they've got one too, it's very, very funny. I've actually had a couple of rage quits here with this set. So I've got a Salac Berry as the item. I know you're thinking, what? But I'm going to try and make a speedy set here, and we've got Synchronize. So the EV spread is going to be Timid Nature this time, and we've got Max Special Attack and Max Speed. So with the Salac Berry, when it pops, it'll actually have a decent speed stat, nothing like astronomical high, but reasonable, and it's still going to be a good special sweeper. So a nice Pip Night special for you tonight. This is probably one of my favorite sets for this so far. And we've got another set here. This is Physical Trash. So its physical stat is only 50 base. It's very, very bad, right? So I looked at it and I'm like, man, there's not much I can do with this, you know? It's so bad. So I've given it max health and max attack. And this would be good to run, actually. This would be good to run under the Trick Room. So at least that way you can go first and you can have a chance of flinching the opponent with Zen Headbutt. So you've got Leech Life as well there for sustain, and you've got Gung Shot just for a courage move because it virtually gets hardly any attacking move, which I'll show you in a sec. And if you want to get rid of your Choice Band so you can hit as hard as a Shuckle, you can trick it away to a support Pokemon and completely cripple them, and you might be able to get a salty Rage Quit there. So there you go. It's a Physical Trash Rabsticker set. It's very, very bad. There's no real way to actually boost its, its stat there outside of like a berry, or I was thinking about using like a Swagger Psych Up combination, but unfortunately it only gets Psych Up, so it doesn't get the other Swagger part. Otherwise, I would have gone ahead and used that. But yes, a very, very bad special attacker. Let me go over a couple more sets here and last thoughts on Rabsco. This is a very cool Pokemon, I have to admit. Okay, so let's go over its status moves first. I have given you some team options already. I did list off a couple of them before, but in terms of countering this, I mean, it's not fast, right? So you know you can easily get a hit in against it, and it's most of the time it's just going to be the same typical moves. Bug Buzz, Psychic, Revival Blessing, right? That's going to be mostly what it's doing 100% of the time. It's weak to fire. It's weak to dark, you know. It's weak to a lot of things, you know. Ghost. A lot of things like Stealth Rock, you know. It's rock moves. It's weak to so many different things. So depending on what the opponent tears, or if they even are going to tear it at all on it, you can get around it that way. It has a good special attack stat, for sure. It is dangerous under Trick Room, but apart from that, it's not too threatening. Just wear it down, unless you're versing a really bulky set with Recover. So I'd probably go into something with Taunt, or like a Toxic or something like that. That's how I would go about, or a Hazing Pokemon. So I wouldn't call it a super, super hard Pokemon to counter with it having quite a few weaknesses, but really, really cool Pokemon, you know, sort of, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Orbeetle, you know, I mean, I guess they both are Beetle-like, so yeah, it's very, very similar to that and gets a lot of, like, similar moves. All right, let's have a look at its status moves now. I like to always go over everything here. Yeah, so it does get Carmine and Iron Defense, which is, you know, kind of cool. It doesn't get Body Press, though, which is kind of sucks. But you can use this, too. This is another set you could make use of here. Like, this is just another option. If you want, like, a pure stored power kind of set here. It's a Pip Night special, but it actually can work. So we've got Starberry. Starberry is going to randomly raise a stat by 2 and at a quarter health here, right? So we've got... Okay, so we want to build this one bulky all round. So we've got Iron Defense. Iron Defense is going to give it a +2 in defense, which is a very, very fast way to boost up the defense. So, I'd be kind of inclined to go max defense there, and I'd go... You can make it all round. We could give it Bold. Bold would be pretty good to begin with, right? So then you could start going for Calm Mind. That could be a good option. And that way you don't have to focus for going for Iron Defense too much, right? If one really scary physical attacker does come in, well, you can pop one Iron Defense up there then. So this way it more focuses you on getting the Calm Mind boost, which is a lot more effective than just using Iron Defense. Then when your health gets low, right, Starberry is going to pop. I mean, if you got a speed boost, that'd be crazy. If you got a special attack boost, that would be wild. Or if you got a defense boost, special defense boost, that'd be crazy too. So it's quite a cool option there. And stored power, even though we're going to leave dark types out of this, obviously you wouldn't send it in there with a dark type still roaming around. Even steel types are going to get absolutely wrecked after a while. It is susceptible to like toxic and things like that, which is why I'm going to suggest this. How about we go Terra Poison? That way we cannot get poison at all. So that's awesome, you know. So yeah, you can give the Rabsca set a go there. Obviously, if you suspect a poison type move like Toxic, you have to Terra type right away. I know it's going to be a little bit of lack of base power there if you don't go for the Terra type Psychic, but after as many stored power boosters you're going to get from this set, it's just going to be like crazy strong. So there you go, a cool set there for Rabsca. Let's go for a couple more options if there is any there. So we've gone over all of these here. You could go for Rest Sleep Talk variants of that set that I just showed you with Stored Power and Calm Mind. Go ahead and try that. That would work too. Oh, that's it. So this Cosmic Power, currently Rabsca, I don't know why Showdown actually has this on here because I actually can't learn it legitimately yet, but Cosmic Power would be a great move on this thing. Like, that would make this, that other set, that Stored Power set that I was showing you before, work really well. Currently, there's no Pokemon that can learn this via level up in Scarlet and Violet, so when there is one, you can go ahead and give it to her, right? So there's no Pokemon that can get it, so you can't use like them, you can't breed it, and you can't use the little Mirror Herb tactic and Picnic. So yeah, when this is in the game, you know, when home releases and stuff like that, if a Pokemon does learn it through level up, you know, you could go ahead and use it. But until then, you won't be able to use it. We won't be able to get it on it legitimately there. So I just thought I'd mention that if you did see that move in there. You're probably wondering why I didn't choose that. Okay, yeah. Anyway, let me quickly go back here for status moves. It actually gets quite a cool bunch of moves here. You get a lot of these, like it gets speed swap too. This is another thing I was thinking about. If you're like, look, I just don't even care about going, I want to go first permanently, right? Let's get rid of the Trick Room and let's give it speed swap, right? So this way, all you got to do is swap it into a fast Pokemon, live the hit, and then go for speed swap, you know? And then suddenly Rabsca's a fast Pokemon. So I think that'd be really cool too, and you can give like a bad speed stat to another Pokemon. So if you time it right and, you know, you think about it, what your opponent is going to do, you could absolutely make use of speed swap for sure. Very cool on a fast Pokemon. I think that's virtually about it. It does get some cool moves like Guard Swap and Power Swap, so interesting stuff there. You've got like Rain and Sand, but there's Pokemon that can sort of do that better. So yeah, that's its that's a status move. Let's go over its special moves there. If there's any final thoughts, it does get Weather Ball, so you might be able to match it up with the Sunny Day I seen there before and fire off some fire moves. Everything there is really not going to be anything really exciting or that you could use there. So that's about it for the special side. And lastly, its physical set is pretty trash. So it's very limited. It's not a physical attack at all, but I just like to show off the options that it it does have there. So yes, that's pretty much it for Rabsca. It is a cool Pokemon. It is somewhat limited, but the best role I'd say this Pokemon is going to be is a Trick Room, a slow Trick Room special attacker with the options of reviving a teammate there, or you could even have it as a Trick Room setter purely and just a Pokemon that can get a Pokemon back, set the Trick Room up, faint, and drop the stats there and create something. That's probably its best role there. All these other ones are pretty memey. These stored power sets are no joke, though, if there's no counters for them, of course. So, yeah, you could give those ones a go there. And I actually kind of like this set. It's kind of cool, you know? Like, it does a lot of different things, and I can see that working. There is some sort of... Obviously, there are some counters to it, but, yeah, there's a fair bit of potential with this Pokemon. Absolutely not an overpowered Pokemon, but definitely not weak either. Like, very powerful special attacker under the Trick Room, or if you manage to get a speed swap off on the opponent. If you've got any other sets you want to add to this set, let me know about it in the comment section, and that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this one. Peace out.